Oh, and just in case we got any more mistakes, I got the clipboard ready. There we go. All right. um, Before we start, so, fellas, one quick thing that you geeked out about, just one really quick thing that you geeked out about the most in high school. Black, go.
Where I geeked out about the most in high school, I would have to say Dragon Ball Z.
Word. Okay. What about you, Chris?
In high school?
Mm-hmm.
What was it? I can't remember whether The Empire Strikes Back was out then, but if not, The Empire Strikes Back, definitely Aliens.
Word. Yeah. And that's funny because at first I wanted to say Star Wars, but I mean, looking at my background, I'm like, yeah, it was probably something else.
Then again, wait a minute. No, I was about to say the Batman 89 came out after I was out of high school because it came.
Yeah, and that was for me middle school. So. Hey everyone, welcome back to I Told My Wife I'm Paying Bills. I'm Slim.
I am Black, aka the Raging Bull X.
And I am Sir Nose, devoid of funk, and I can't swim.
What, sir, what?
Okay.
He said,
Hi,
sir.
this is Chris. How y'all doing?
wait.
Sir Nose, devoid of funk, from Parliament.
Oh,
Rewind.
Oh, I was like, yeah, but you said just the way you said it. Hey, it was funky and cool. All right, and we are back with another episode. And today we are talking about how we were all geeks before geeking was cool. So that was funny. We're coming down off of a funny conversation, and we'll talk about that another time. I'll tell y'all, we'll talk about that in our off the cuff episode. Matter of fact, fellas, I think when we live stream, we're gonna have our off the cuff episode on our live stream. So, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all are listening right now, if y'all are watching us, as soon as I announce it, please make sure you like and subscribe to see our live stream episode because we got some funny stuff we're gonna talk about, especially what Black Fire talk about. Yeah. Don't worry. No names will be named. No names will be
no
named.
names, and we can't even. In our case, Slim, we can't even talk about details.
We can't get too many details either, just for the simple fact that, Well, anyway, okay, all right, we're going to go back to the geeking episode. We're going to talk about that other stuff later. Anyway, all right, back to the geeking episode. So, we are going to talk about, geeking out now because it seems like just nowadays, being a geek is just cool. It's like commonplace. It's like everything. But back when we were younger, and not trying to joke on senior here, but when senior was in high school, it was way different to be a geek. You almost had to hide being a geek because one, as African Americans, Black people, they would look at you, you'd be like, yo, I ain't into that. You know what I'm saying? And they like would almost clown you for the different things you were into, but also just for being a geek in general, whether you're Black, white, or whatever, just for being a geek in general and for liking your things, people be ready to clown you, which it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? And you wonder why people want to say, oh, you like this, I don't, so that's stupid, you're stupid. I'm like, it just, I can't put my head around it. And I mean, again, there are some things that, of course, that you can say, okay, yeah, that's just too much for me. But then there's other things where it's just like, what? And it makes you want to be like, okay, I'm a huge Batman fan. So because I'm a Batman fan, you want to joke on me about that? Why? Because I love Batman? Because it brings me joy about my childhood. It reminds me of the good things of me sitting in the very first house that I remember, and sitting and watching Adam West on TV and finding out the next week what's going to happen and being excited about watching it next week. So I think it's such a warm feeling, a good feeling that now geek culture is commonplace. You know what I'm saying? Before we dive a little bit deeper, fellas, I didn't do my warm welcomes. How are y'all doing? It's been a minute. How y'all feeling? How's it going? Chris, how are things going with you? I know a little bit behind the scenes, but let's go ahead and just give me a censored version for the people. How you doing?
Am I allowed to drink on this podcast? That's
As long as
how
it's
my
not,
week has been going.
as long as it's not marked. There you go.
Yeah, this is how my past couple of weeks have been going. Yeah, it's been trials and tribulations, but hey, we're still hanging, still
You're
kicking.
charging in. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like. That's what I like to hear, man. Yeah. And just from you telling me what's been going on, man, props to y'all because I've been there, but not as long as y'all been. You know, I've been without AC. I've been without heat in both the winter and summer when they were needed, and it sucked. It sucked. So props to you, bro. Yeah, man. Hey, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. Black, how things going for you, man? Man, you came off that vacation. I want to hear a little bit. Give me a quick version of how the vacation was. And I know you came back and you had to hustle, get back to work. So how's the vacation?
Let me see. I can give you the short version of this.
Yo, hold on. Before you do, that was a very pregnant sigh, bro. That was
I don't know how it feels to be pregnant, but you know, I can imagine being pregnant is like you're holding some type of weight, you know, and you want to be relieved of that weight, you know, as soon as you can. And that's pretty much how my vacation was.
Oh man. Okay. All right. So
you know what? It wouldn't have been as bad.
Mm-hmm.
Let me stop. It wasn't bad.
In consideration,
it was great.
In consideration for your marriage, bro, I'm gonna stop you and be like, "Word, okay, that was a good vacation. Got you. All right."
No, Dad, I got some things to say. No, it was a great vacation, but what these young ones got to understand is that when you out of town, when you out of country, I'm sorry, you have to be on your best behavior. You can't be bucking at people because if you swing, you done. And guess what? Mr. Dion's jumping back on the plane. I'm sorry. That's what's going to happen. And yes, my wife already knows this.
Joe, word. Actually, you are correct. You're correct. You cannot go into somebody else's country and act like you're an American. You got to act like, hey, I'm a tourist, but I'm just I understand.
You got to be. And trust me, they learned that lesson. Nothing happened. It was a great vacation. Nothing happened, but that has to be explained to them. That's all I'm saying.
Word. I got you.
And
yeah.
Already knows. You know.
Word. Well, for the last couple of weeks, it's been chill. I had to get back into work. School is about to start, so we've been crazy busy. Man, just hold on. Let me think about this before I say it because I like my job to a point. I like my job and I want to work. I like my house, so I'm not gonna get myself fired. So, people just want what they want when they want it, and that is a lot on sometimes when you have multiple people who want what they want when they want it, and that's how it is. That is why I have stayed out of the service industry. However, I'm technically in the service industry because I have to provide service to people, just not customers, but end users. So that's how my week's been. In actually a couple of weeks. Anyway, getting back over into geeking out, this makes me so happy, you know, because again, man, it is so commonplace and everyone is living a geek culture. It is such a good time to be a geek. It is such a good time to be into Star Wars, into Batman, into gaming, which Black, I know he's a hardcore gamer because I know he'll probably jump on the game as soon as we're off of here. Don't worry, I'm not gonna hold you too long, Black.
Probably.
Oh, yeah. So we're also gamers, but this geek culture, it has such a massive following now because everyone has something that's geeky that they're into now, to where geeking is not a 4-letter word that that was negative like it used to be. When you used to be called a geek, you used to get joked on. People used to laugh at you. People equated you with somebody wearing glasses, somebody wearing glasses and pushing the things up with a piece of tape and all of that, you know. And it is so heartwarming to see now how much it's changed. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I want to start off by kind of talking about some of the things that in high school when we were younger. You know, Black. Let's start off with you. Tell me a little bit about some of your early childhood stuff when you first realized that you were a geek. In terms of the geeky things that it would be geek description. It would be in the geek description, you know what I'm saying? Into like the gaming, the the other geek culture stuff, anime, manga and all that other things like that. So tell me your first when you first realized, oh snap, this is me.
I don't know. I believe it was my sophomore year. And I was checking out I think it was you mentioned Batman. I was really into Batman animated series. So I was talking about that in the hallway, just talking. I was like, man, did you see the episode of Batman ever? And this one dude came by and be like, man, this dude talking about he didn't know me, but he's just talking about, man, this dude talking about Batman animated series. I'm like, and I am what? He ain't say nothing, but I'm not trying to. Hey, look, I'm not no tough guy, except for when I gotta be.
Right.
But that's when I realized people got a problem because you say you like something and you just talked about it just now. But that's when I realized I'm like, okay, I must got a little geeky side to me because this guy that I didn't know had something to say after he overheard my conversation I was having with one of my homeboys. And I'm like, okay. That's when I started realizing that okay, I like stuff that's a bit not part of the popular culture at that time. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. And that's when I realized I'm like, okay, I got a little geek in me. I got a little geek in me, but I just didn't give a damn. I didn't care what people said.
I got you. I understand. Especially the schools that we went to. It was really prominent to where somebody would take and hear your conversation and see you, and they were into that. And I got a story about my geek culture and how I was treated in a minute. However, Chris, give me your first realization and about how old you were. Was it high school, before high school, when you first realized you're like, yeah, I'm a geek. I'm into geek culture and I'm heavy in it. Now, I know your history, so I know your mother had a lot to do with that. But when did you first realize that you were into that geek culture where people would actually kind of clown on that culture?
I found out I was a geek when y'all told me before we started the podcast. I was like, I didn't realize I was a geek until then. I knew I didn't quite fit into the nerd category because I wasn't quite smart enough to be a nerd. I was in the comic books, but I didn't know what you called it. But I swung with a bunch of people. I mean, and it's like, yeah, like you said, the adults in my life were actually cool with science fiction and whatnot. And I mean, we're coming up during the era when, moon landing had just happened, like, and the and those programs were still going. Yeah, back in the early days, I actually remember having toys of the stages with the stages of the rockets on there. And then, Star Trek wasn't super popular, kind of got canceled kind of early, but even a number of years later when it started becoming more popular. But then again, there was always the science fiction stuff out there, especially around about the matter of fact, really, it started with like 2001: A Space Odyssey. I caught on to that later, but as far as geek stuff goes, yeah, it was sci-fi movies and which was always kind of there, and being in like I said, my mother was into that, and then there was the the genre stuff like Dark Shadows, and so yeah, I was always kind of surrounded by people who were geeks and whatnot, teachers, and so I really, as far as like having issues with it or realizing that I was one, it was probably more in recent years when I actually really started thinking about, oh, so that's what I was all those years. I actually was a late bloomer, basically figuring out that I was actually a geek.
Word. Yeah. So that's kind of funny to me to hear that, because I it as long as I've known you, I've always felt like you knew you were a geek and you were just comfortable with it, and you just was like, I don't care. It's like, this is what I like, this is how I'm gonna be, and everyone kind of knew it. And when you're a geek, you kind of get surrounded by other geeks. So that's pretty much how we ended up come to knowing each other. Like I said, one of the first things that we actually started talking about was comic books. I mean, other than my daughter, but we was talking about, my kid was being born, whatever. But we started talking about comics, and that's kind of how we bonded, with me, I knew I was a geek one of the first times. And Black, this is funny because I was talking about this when we were in middle school, and this is how old it was. We were in the old Heinz building. I knew I was a geek when I was in the hallway at school one day, and I was talking about something, and I don't remember what it was I was talking about, but I know it had to have been something geeky, and I heard people laughing about it, right? And me talking about it, and I was probably talking to Donald Bryan, one of the other, one of our friends who were also geeks.
Yep.
And I heard people laughing at me about it, and I'm just like, "What? Y'all don't watch this?" And it was either watching something, or it might have been about comic books, cartoons, or whatever, right? And everybody was just laughing about it and walking away from me. And I was just wondering why everybody was laughing. Later on that same day, I'm at my locker, and somebody walked up to me, and it was one of those tough kids. They walked up to me, and they were asking me about that thing that I was talking about. And I really wish I remember what it was. And I started getting excited about it and talking to them. I'm like, "Oh, you like this too? This so and so and so and so." They just did that to get my attention. So somebody else can do that whole trick where they get on their knees behind me, and that person can push me, and I fall and I slam on the ground hard, like really hard. Yeah. And of course, when you're a kid, that hurts. And I mean, saying that hurts your ego, it hurts your body, all of that. But in that moment, I was like, oh, okay, I guess everybody isn't like that. Everybody doesn't like this kind of stuff. So from that point on, I realized, okay, so I need to watch what I say to who I say it to and who I say it to. And for years, I didn't say much. Now, you know what it was? I'm starting to remember now. It wasn't even it wasn't about watching anything. It was about the 89 Batman, right? But I hadn't watched it yet. I had this giant Batman button. Do you remember when they had the giant buttons?
Yeah,
and that was a thing.
I remember those. Yep.
I had a giant Batman button on my book bag, and I was talking to them about the button, and I was so excited about this button and talking about my button and all that, and everybody was laughing at me about that. And I was like, yo, I didn't care, because it's funny, because in the hallways it was one way. On my bus, I was talking about on the bus earlier that morning, and people was like, cool, because a lot of us on that bus had different versions of the buttons ourselves for different people. I know, like, a girl had New Kids on the Block one. I know some other ones who had some other, like, hip hop artists and some other movie giant buttons. But back in that day, those giant buttons was our thing.
Right.
You
very, very
love
popular.
something.
I know exactly
you know what I'm
what you're
saying?
talking about.
Yeah. So
I had the Chicago Bulls one.
See, that's what I'm saying, right? And I remember now, because again, I went back home after that, and like I said, I had to kind of watch what I was saying. But on the bus, everybody was kind of talking about their buttons and stuff, and I just couldn't understand it. And I was like, yo, why am I getting joked on for liking Batman? So again, I had to watch out what I said, and I think I didn't take it off that day, but I eventually ended up taking the button off of my backpack, because I was just like, if this is gonna get me beat up for it, I'm just not gonna have it on there. And that's why I ended up remembering, because I took the button off and I had to hide it. I had to hide my geeky thing. So, was there one thing growing up that you did not want anybody to know about, as far as your geeky side, that you did not talk about, and you was just like, and I don't want to say I would say your peers. I don't want to say your friends. I don't want to say your classmates, whatever, just your peers, because there might even people who weren't even like a classmate of yours, but you did not want them. Chris, is there one thing that you did not want anyone to know about?
I did not want any of them to know how much I liked women in fishnet stockings.
That's not geeky. That is definitely not geeky.
But it's funny because I probably had to hide my music interest more than anything else, which was like, like I was really into rock and I was deeper off into rock music than I wanted to admit, although I'm blasting Prince. So
I know
but see, you're not gonna get clowned for. Everybody knows Prince, even the hardcore. They know Prince. But I look at it like this. I'm gonna let you finish, but I know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to rock music, because I ain't gonna lie. I got some bangers that I loved back then, and I didn't want to rock it because I was a little insecure about what people would say. But I'll let you finish there, singing.
No, but I agree. I agree absolutely with you. Sorry, but yeah, I agree because actually in our age group at the time, back in the early to late 80s, you were surrounded by rock music. So you had to have gotten some kind of rock music in your blood and just loved it. So, but then there was still that genre of people who was just like, you shouldn't like rock, being black men, you're supposed to like hip hop, well, not men, but black, being a black guy, you're supposed to like hip hop, you're supposed to like R&B, you're supposed to like soul music,
Mm-hmm.
So I get that, Chris, of why, you were not afraid, but you were just kind of reluctant to kind of let your music known. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was more like certain types of rock music. It was like, because keep in mind, we grew up during the MTV generation and whatnot. So that was pretty much cool with everybody because we didn't really have so much other choices as far as music went until BET came along. And then you usually only got between 15 to 30 minutes until they started expanding and actually getting a little bit, and actually having full programs based on it. But as far as like some of the harder metals that I liked, I kind of thought that maybe brothers that actually were into the harder metal was kind of weird, but there was just some stuff that I just thought was fire. It was just like, so I would like it secretly. I couldn't afford it anyway, but when it came on the radio, I wasn't changing the channel. But then again, a lot of my friends were into harder metal too. So it was, even that I didn't have to hide, but so much I probably had to hide that more from adults than anything else. But, I had to stay in the R&B zone when I was around them. But yeah, like when Living Color came out, it was a family friend. I will thank Martin for forever for this. But yeah, Martin Martin Brown made it cool for me to like other types of music. And especially that was right about the time that Living Color came out and Cult of Personality. And I was like, yeah, I'm never hiding this again. Plus already I liked like black rock groups like Fishbone and stuff like that back in the day too. Although I could barely ever hear them except for like on special times on like BET and every once in a while on MTV.
Yeah, that song specifically, Cult of Personality, that song, I love that song, but I did not go further past that song with that group, just because of what we were told, not told, but you know what I'm saying? We were pressured and other kids was just like, you like that? So I feel bad about that too. Cause I now I know that the person I am now would probably have loved that group. So anyway. Black, what about you? Is there one thing that like around the people that you hung out with, your peers? Is there one thing that you knew that you couldn't share with them about, like something that you geeked out about?
I was a little insecure about about the music, like what Senior mentioned. But I'm a being that we already kind of covered that. I will go to anime. I was a huge fan of Ninja Scroll. Huge fan of Ninja Scroll, and I used to talk about it all the time. Ninja Scroll, Riding Beam, all these real good anime movies that I used to watch, and I would mention it even to some we ain't even talk about peers, even to some friends, from neighborhoods I grew up with. I'm like, man, you ain't never seen? I don't watch no anime. What's that? And I was like, you ain't never seen Ninja Scroll? And he was like, hell no, man. I'm watching Boys in the Hood.
That's wild. That's wild. That's wild. But you know what?
I'm like, okay, I see Boys in the Hood. I'm from the hood, man. I see that. I see that all the time. I don't want to see that when I'm watching it.
Yeah. Right. Right. And you know what's funny about you saying that too about them is chances are if they watched cartoons when they were a kid, they watched anime because in the United States there was so many of our cartoons from the 80s that ended up being anime. We didn't know it was anime. Yeah,
Transzor Z,
Transzor Z, Voltron, Robotech. You know, all these other different ones that were anime, but it just came over to the United States. Actually, you know, well, not really. No, I was about to say Transformers. Transformers was anime. No, Transformers was made here, but it came from Japan because of their toys. So, but I already said, you know, one of my things that I ended up basically not really talking about too much, Batman and you know the different geeky things. So there's not too much that I hid. But for the most part, I still censored myself a lot around who I talked to about it because I still talked about it in school to a point as I got older, but I learned that okay, when these people are around, I'm just gonna not talk. And actually, that's kind of why I got that personality that I was talking about earlier, Black, where I just didn't give a I was in that high school and I was like, look, I don't like most of these people here because
anyway,
a lot of them started like, you know, talking honestly. You know, so
my thing
Chris,
is middle school. I'm not to cut you off, Slim. Middle school will push you to not give a
yeah.
So by the time you hit high school, I really don't give
Yeah. Testosterone is kicking in though. You're starting to really feel yourself. Plus you're into girls and you got
yeah.
I tell them I like Mrs. Girl. I like Mrs. Girl.
Chris, did you have a point you were about to say though too?
I think that, man, we need to do a whole episode on anime because just keep in mind, my first example we're going back to the early 70s, which I didn't even know it was, you know, what it was called at the time, like Speed Racer. And so, and a lot of the ones you mentioned have been some of my favorites. So I didn't want to derail things too far, but yeah, we may have to do an episode on anime.
Yeah, we can
and how it's influenced us, or, you know, at least, the ones that we've liked and why we liked them.
For sure. Yeah. And I didn't, again, like I said, I didn't realize that I watched anime until I was older. Ninja Scroll got me hooked on the anime as well. But again, I realized after the fact that a lot of stuff I used to watch when I was younger was anime. So, moving on, you know, a little bit, I wanted to ask y'all, and it's so funny because again, with the Black community, you find even as we got older too, because there were some people that was just like, yo, that's some lame shit. And you know, I wanted to ask y'all though, do y'all find that now that things have changed, do y'all find that, or do you think it's changed because corporations made it cool, or it's just that people are more accepting now, and that's why corporate realized, oh, people are more accepting. Okay, so let's go ahead and push this stuff out because people are more accepting. Which one came first, chicken or the egg? Which one do y'all feel was it? Was it corporate, or did corporate notice people actually thought it was cool now, so that's why corporate started putting money into it?
Well, I think I think a pretty accurate representation of that dynamic is the first 21 Jump Street movie with Channing Tatum and how when it starts off, you know, Channing Tatum is the cool guy in school and whatnot, and then and then all of a sudden, as times changed, the geeks became more popular. But
he's like, you gotta one strap it. No, nobody else is doing that. Yeah.
But it's like, as far as like, I think it's a little bit of both, because you got to look at a lot of the people who are controlling things at this point in the world. A lot of those are guys who are pretty much geeks, and you could tell by the early pictures of them if you care to look. But even now, it seems to be more of a, you know, them trying to change the narrative. But at the same time, though, geek, as technology got better and you could bring the things that we, you know, especially like anime and sci-fi movies, and the technology got better, Yeah, it became more attractive and better opportunities for as jobs went, and then movies and TV shows got to the point where the technology started getting better, and then you had more to talk about and more to make money off of.
Yeah. And now seeing it because of the movie industry has just skyrocketed geek culture. You have two very, very large universes, is all strictly geeky, the Marvel and the DCU, those two universes alone, which DCU is still struggling. I thought that with James Gunn, he was going to go ahead and transform it because he came out the gate pressed like so hardcore with Peacemaker, Creature Commandos, and all these, a couple of other things that he came out with, and they were all hits. But then all of a sudden, it's just like it seems like things are sleepers now. Even though when he first came out and came into the, some other people, they were like doubting him, and people were also talking about some of the moves that he made with getting rid of people.
I mean, I honestly think though, as far as like a lot of that goes, though, it's like they do with everything else. They oversaturate the market with too much stuff, and then because once it's hot, everybody's got to get a piece, and everybody jumps on the bandwagon of we're going to push this out. And naturally, the quality starts to vary. It doesn't matter, because especially, and then you could look at unforeseen incidents and things that happen, like people getting in trouble, people dying. All of a sudden, that changed the dynamic. All of a sudden, pandemic came out, or writer strikes and things of that nature actually affect a lot of that stuff too. And then you turn around, because it's like, I still to this day think that it had James Gunn's second Suicide Squad movie came out first, and hadn't been, lumped in with a lot of other fluff, I truly think that movie would have been a bigger hit. I mean, it had excessive violence. It was funny. It had good characterizations of the characters. It was basically a redo of the first one and all the things. There was a lot that I liked about the first one, but I think that the second one kind of perfected all of that. Didn't take itself too seriously, but took itself just seriously enough. But even then, I've never questioned the quality of what James Gunn has put out. But I thought that too much damage was already done as far as like too much oversaturation of the stuff in the market.
Well, yeah, I thought DC up when they tried to push the Justice League too quick, and they didn't have enough stories before that. Yeah. Because they saw what the Marvel was doing, and me personally, I didn't like Justice League. Sorry, I didn't like it. I thought I did like Batman vs Superman. Dawn of Justice. I did like that, but I just thought. I mean, you can't rush it. You got to kind of like pace it out. You got to let the stories build, because that's what Marvel did.
I mean, they never really.
They were trying to catch back up with Marvel, in my opinion.
And they never really. They didn't do the characters justice to me in a lot of ways, because, and I mean, yeah. And there were things that I liked about. I didn't like. I really didn't care for the first Justice League at all. I did love the Snyder cut, that he did, and I was actually like, and it was long as hell, but I'm used to long ass movies because there was a bunch of long ass movies when I grew up. But the problem, and I was fine with it just wrapping up like it did. But at the same time, though, I felt like the narrative got lost in the middle, and not to mention, I didn't really think that there was a lot to miss about. I mean, as far as, and I'm probably one of the people that loves Man of Steel way more than I probably should. But
I love Man of Steel.
Yeah, there were flaws in it, but there were things that I loved about it. The only thing that I wish they had done was fleshed out Superman a little bit more. Given this dude can act, he could carry that role, and I'm like, but they tried to make it so dark in order to match. I think what came before in the Nolan films, and I don't think it was necessary for it to be that dark. Or at least work your way up to a certain level of darkness. Give us the happier stuff, and then break our hearts later, and don't try to make us.
I don't think Christopher Nolan is that type of director. Like, because he's dark right out of the start. I mean, from Batman Begins, to the Dark Knight Rises. He's just, in my opinion, he's that type of director. He's not.
Yeah, I'm talking about more like the Snyder era when he took over and whatnot. Because by the time the Nolan stuff was finished, and so then they wanted to try to tack on to that, because at one point they were considering having Christian Bale be the Batman of that era, but then they were kind of like, that story wrapped up, and Christopher Nolan wasn't interested in it anymore, and so then after that they were talking with Ben Affleck about his project, which at some point he wanted to do something darker that was closer to the Batman. But but like I said, I think they kind of just took it. The storytelling just kind of wasn't there. And even when I saw the director's cut, which actually added stuff in there that kind of was narratively a lot better, it was still kind of drug on a little bit. And by the time you got to the finale and whatnot, it was kind of like, it is what it is. And I was like, and the whole, I ain't even get into a certain other aspects, but controversial aspects.
That's all good. So we're getting close already. I'm like, dang, I'm like, man, we can actually roll on about this, but I definitely, man, it's the anime part of it. That's why, because we really want to talk about the anime. But since we're getting close to time, tell me, and I kind of know Chris's, but let's start with Black first. Black, tell me one geeky thing that you still doing today that you refuse to grow out of. I kind of might have an idea. I was about to say I have an idea, but so gaming.
I'm gonna be 75 years old. As long as these hands work, I'm gonna be gaming.
Yeah, man. That's what's up. I mean, and I can say the same. If I have time where I can sit and enjoy it, I'm gonna be doing the same, honestly. That's probably not my thing though, but not the thing that I want to say. But Chris, tell me yours. What's your one thing that you still do that you want to grow out of? I see you looking at it.
I like everything. I'm not giving up. Because I'm like, I'm still. I can afford my own toys now.
For our show, for our viewers, can you please break out the Squadron helmet?
He's buried behind some figures, so it'll really take me a while.
Come on, dude! Hey, you pulled it out the other day so easily and quickly.
Don't make me go. Don't make me go gladiator on you. Spaniard.
Nah, you need to do that chant they did in was it the Batman?
Yeah,
I don't even know what he says. But
anyway. You talk about when they was in, you said
when he was climbing the wall.
In Dark Knight Rises, when they was saying that chant,
Yeah.
That chant was off. That chant was off the. That chant was off the hand.
That's all good. That's all good. Look, I'm gonna eventually get a picture of Chris to post on our picture. Chris has
you can
dope.
Put up the one I sent you if you want.
Okay. I'm gonna post it, y'all.
Don't get me wrong. I like wearing the helmet. Yeah. It's just that I'd have to really dig to get it, and I would really knock some stuff over right now.
Word. It's all good. Yeah. Chris has a Rogue Squadron helmet. I say Rogue Squadron. He has a Rebel helmet that he got that's actually pretty dope.
It's literally Luke. It's Luke's helmet.
Luke.
I got a little something that I've been meaning to show you, and it's a little nostalgic and geeky too, but cool at the same time. Let me go get it right quick. Hold on one second.
Well, while Black does that, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of his camera. So it's actually pretty cool. Me, as you can see, I'm partially a collector. And so I think this is probably it. But I can probably actually say the one thing that I would never give up is Legos.
Oh.
Now, that phone
looks very familiar, don't it?
That's not the Bat phone, is it?
It's not.
I was going to say, because like the light is kind of throwing me off.
It's from an animated sitcom we all used to watch. I'm going to take it off the hook. And I'm going to press 7. Okay, wrong button. Okay, so what it's supposed to do?
Oh, hold on. I know what you need to do. Okay, do it again. Put the top to the mic.
Okay,
the top of the phone. Yeah.
It's
Other
not
side.
doing it now.
Oh no.
It's not doing so. Okay, this phone, I gotta figure out what's wrong with it. But anyways, what this is this is Mo's phone from the Simpsons. So when Bart, I could press a button when Bart, what's one of the pranks that's on here? He
the
says,
refrigerator.
He says, is
Amanda Kiss.
I forgot the prank.
Yes,
It's
that's
like
one
3 or
that's
4 pranks on that phone.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it's not working now because it's working fine. When I first went, because my wife actually bought it and she was like, "Hey, do you want this?" And I'm like, "What the is that?" And she says, it's the Simpsons." I was like, "Oh, that's Mo." So it's got Bart's pranks on it. So and it's got Bart's pranks. I don't know why it's not working now.
Oh,
but, it's pretty funny,
man. Yeah, would you? Yeah, I like. Yeah, is Amanda there? I need Amanda Kiss.
yeah.
I need.
Yeah.
Is there a man?
Is there a man kissing?
That's what's up. Yes. So exactly. And that was that is iconic part of our childhood. That and honestly, it's so funny.
Okay. I think I had it off. Hold on. I just heard him.
Yeah, I heard it in the distance. I didn't hear it clearly.
Yeah. Either which way, I'm gonna have a recording, and I'm gonna tape it because something's up with I gotta fix.
Just record it and send it to me, and I'll go ahead and drop it on our socials. So, well, we're getting close, so I want to wrap it up. Before I do, they're calling you back.
First name Mo. Mo on.
So that's when he actually catches. That's when he catches Bart in the mix trying to prank him. So now
that's dope. That is so dope.
Yeah, somebody there who actually had the name, and he had to explain. Yeah, this is a practical joke on a roll.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, I actually remember that. I think it was a dude with glasses actually too. The answer. He's like, "That's sweet."
Is Amanda Kiss there?
All right, so wrapping it up, our last thing. What would you say?
Oh my gosh, bro!
What would you say is the geekiest thing that you still own? Go ahead and start with Chris. Geekiest thing you still own, Chris?
My large size Boba Fett.
Large size Boba Fett. That's what's up. And you know what? That's dope. If y'all have seen it, check it out.
There's a giant Vader right there, though. So it's about 18 inches tall.
Yeah. Well, check out our Toying with Nostalgia episode. You'll actually see the Boba Fett on our Toying with Nostalgia episode. Well, actually, it's a Toying with Nostalgia special. So, I remember that Boba Fett. That was actually pretty cool too. So, Black, what's the geekiest thing you still own?
I believe it or not, is fairly new.
Mm-hmm.
Fairly, it's about 3 years old, 4 years old. But I actually have a luchador mask. From the
Word.
wrestlers. Yeah,
I
haven't brought it out. It's back there in the basement where all my stuff is at, in the back room in the basement. But I actually have that, and my wife actually saw it, and I was like, I want that luchador mask, and she bought it for me, and it looked just like Rey Mysterio's.
Word. Chris, what was you about to say? You had something to say?
I think I can out-geek myself. I actually saved up a handful of rappers from Star Wars bubblegum cards from back in the day.
No way.
Seriously.
All right. So, I might got y'all beat, but hold on. This is one of the geekiest things I got a whole bunch of geeky. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
Both of y'all got me beat.
I'm looking here at a Doctor Who sonic screwdriver in front of a Doctor Who Lego set. I've got a bunch of Legos over here. I'm looking at D&D figures right here on top of my TV. I've got ducks from a cruise. I've got lanyards from Comic-Con. I got a whole bunch of geeky stuff. Thundercats. Batman. I've got this drawing that my niece did. My wonderful, wonderful niece drew Totoro drawing.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Totoro.
yeah, and I have
My
to
neighbor
actually put
Totoro.
this. I know I've said this so jacked up, but she drew it for my daughter. But my daughter wants me to hold it because she doesn't want it to get messed up in her room. So I got to find a frame for this. She actually drew me this. My niece, same niece, drew this for me. Batman and Green Lantern because she asked me who were my favorite superheroes.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Hey,
right.
She can draw. She can
Yeah.
draw, bro.
Yes,
She can draw.
my niece Lana, she's dope. She is so dope. Right. But
I could actually easily see that on a magazine stand.
man,
Yeah, real talk.
She's got some skills. So amongst all this other geeky stuff, let me show y'all the one geeky thing that I still have. I hope I can actually reach it. I'm hoping. Let me see if I can. Okay, so I don't have them out. I don't know where they're at. I'm gonna cut all that mess out. But this is not the geekiest thing I own. Chris got this for me though. I want to say the geekiest thing I own is I can find them. I hear him going off.
Hello. Hi, I'm looking for a Mr. Ron. First name Mo.
Yeah. I gotta find out where I put it. I don't know where exactly I put it. I'm gonna put that
Boy, I forgot all about that Amanda Kiss shit. But boy, they used to have me in tears while she still watching.
Yeah, they went in. They actually like some of those jokes with Bart Simpson was insane. Some of the stuff that he actually said though.
I'm Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you?
So the geekiest thing I own, and I really wish I remember where it was. I would have to actually find it and dig it out, whatever. I still have my collection of 1989 Batman baseball cards. And
What?
I don't know what I did with them. I might have them buried in my closet. I thought I had them out on my stand with stuff, but it might be actually in something on my bookcase as well. I thought I had them, somewhere else and folded and because they're all in the plastic sleeves but folded up. So I don't know. I thought I put them out, but I don't know where I did with them. Anyway, that is still the geekiest thing I own. I'll probably take a picture and put it over top of them, but I love those cards because that reminded me of a good time in my childhood, getting those cards and ripping those cards open with that nasty piece of gum that came with it. But just finding those, and I think I almost have the whole set. I'm only missing like one or two cards, which I could probably find on eBay now and get the whole set. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here and put a pin in it because there's so much about geek culture that we can actually talk about. But we're going to probably continue this conversation with an anime conversation going into our geekiness, anything. But before I go into all of our socials and everything, I just want to take a moment to personally thank everyone who's kind of helping us expand and grow. We have a lot of people who follow us on Facebook. We have people who regularly like and engage with our content. Some of the names, I'm not going to name everyone, but some of the names off the top of my head, Micah actually went to school with us. Micah, Teresa actually went to school with us as well. A lot of people who went to school with us, Micah, Teresa, Miss Tiff. We got Buff. Buff is somebody I actually game with. There's so many people. And then we're actually got some other podcasters. Steve, he actually promotes and helps out or whatever. My nephew's dad, Will, he helps out. My sister, my brother, they all engage with our content. I am very appreciative. Dawn, she's actually a dope artist too. She actually does really good art, and she does the other things at Comic-Con. She goes to Comic-Con and sells a lot of her art, which she actually does. I'm gonna get permission to see if I can actually post some of her art on our show because she does some really dope stuff, like with some horror stuff. So if you're a horror fan, she's got some really dope horror stuff too. So Yeah. And so you definitely got to check it out. I'm gonna ask her if I can actually post some of her page stuff, some of her stuff on our page as well. But a lot of these people, they help out with our content. Again, like I said, I really appreciate everything that they do. All the people who are following us, the people who listen to us, share, and everything. Y'all have helped us so much. For everyone who I didn't name, of course, like I said, there's a massive amount of people. Please continue to watch, share, like, comment, engage, get people to turn on the bell notifications so they can actually see us when we come. And, we're building up. It took us, we were struggling with our cameras, with our our equipment and everything like that. It was sometime I had a computer was creeping, but it actually, things is improving, and I can't wait to see. We're coming up close to the end of our season in October, season 4, and I can't wait to see what season 5 does, because there's so many other things I got planned, and I'm really, really trying. There's a lot of people who probably don't want to come on our show because we're a smaller creator. I get it. I'm saying? People say, oh yeah, I will come on, and don't. I understand, I'm saying? We're smaller creators and whatever. Some people have a couple thousand followers, and, some people have more. So
small for now.
Yeah, we're small for now. But we're trying to kind of get promoted. So for everyone who listens to us, I truly, truly appreciate you, and thank you so much. And please continue to keep promoting us so we can actually grow. All right. Before I go into our socials and everything, fellas, you got anything else y'all wanted to say? Starting with Chris, you got anything you want to say?
No, because I will. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I will have us on here for about another hour or two.
That's all good. It's all good. What about you, Black?
Hey, like Slim just mentioned, hey, we appreciate everything, all our listeners. We appreciate you all. I've been trying to find time to make more content for the Raging Bull X podcast. It is coming, so guys, bear with me. I do have a lot of raging to do, and I will have a guest because Senior over here has a lot of raging to do himself.
Oh yeah. I want to name names, but I probably shouldn't.
Nice. That's funny. Yeah. But I'm also gonna get Senior to do another solo show because he's got a lot to say, and I want him to be able to express that too. So, all right. Well, if you want to reach out to us, you can always reach out to us at you can email us at toldmywifepodcast@gmail.com. If you want to actually follow us on Facebook, please do. We need at least another 40 followers, and we can actually live stream on Facebook. You can follow us on Facebook. I Told My Wife I'm Paying Bills. You can follow us on Instagram at Told My Wife Podcast. You can actually follow us on Twitter now at Told My Wife Pod. You can subscribe to our Instagram. I already said Instagram. You can actually subscribe to our YouTube page. Subscribe to our YouTube page at Told My Wife Podcast. You can find us on TikTok at Told My Wife Podcast. You can actually find my TikTok at SlimTaurus78. I post Lego content, more geeky stuff. I talk about Batman. I'll probably do some face talking videos soon. I don't know, man. I still feel weird about doing that, but you might see me in a car doing one of those things where people talking. Maybe, I don't know. But either way, please like, follow, share, comment, all of that, and help us grow some more. We truly appreciate it. So, but go ahead. What you got to say, Black?
Oh yeah. Before you end up with the final line, I got something for all you guys who tried to clown us back in the day for our geeky stuff. Where the hell y'all at now?
Bruh, I got I'm not gonna say it. I know where some of them are, but I'm not gonna say it anyway. All right, but until the next one, I'm Slim,
and I'm Black,
and I'm Chris.
And whether you're binging or button mashing, we'll catch you on the next episode. Talk to y'all later. See y'all.